Hi guys.
Hi everybody, we're here. Believe it or not, we're back. Oh no.
Andy, Jennifer,
Oh,
we're the
that's right.
Smiths.
We're the Smiths.
We hope you're having a great night. Hey, you may have seen in the heading of this video a warning sign. A warning sign, okay? So the warning is not to believe everything you think, because it might damage your relationships. And you might be thinking, but nobody can read my thoughts. Nobody knows what I'm thinking, so how do my thoughts damage our relationship?
So I think all of you probably know, you've probably heard this before, to watch your thoughts, right? Because our thoughts and feelings are being influenced by all kinds of positive sources, all kinds of negative sources, and you can put whatever name to that works for you. But not everything you think is created or coming from you. So I want to share with you, do you want to know what's been going on in my head?
Story time, yes, we want to hear, right? Let's hear it. What's going on in his head?
What was going on in my head, this has been a while ago, but I learned something from this. So my nephew was getting married, and we got the invitation and the time and date and place of the wedding reception, and we're invited to all of that stuff. And of course we wanted to go, but it was winter time, like it was, a few years ago about this time of year. And so we were concerned about the weather and traveling out of town, and every time I thought, gosh, if it snows, if it gets very bad, we're just not going to try to get through the canyon and face those dangerous conditions, and we'll just miss it. And every time I thought that, I had these negative emotions come up, and the thought was, if you don't sacrifice and if you don't get down there, you're going to offend your family, you're going to make people mad, and you just need to go. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to try to go. And I'd look out the window every day, and I'd check the weather forecast, and hoping that it was going to turn out good. And I think, but there is an approaching storm. We might not be able to make it. Oh, there's that thought. If you don't go, everybody's going to be mad, and you're going to offend your family, and it cause contention. But that's the way it went on for a week. And the day came, and the weather forecast was good. I looked out the window, and it confirmed the forecast was true. It was clear, and it was cold, but everything was clear. The roads were dry, and so we're going. This is going to be a good time. Catch up with the family and support the new couple and congratulate them. And we weren't 2 blocks away from the house, headed down the road, and no kidding, this thought went through my mind. Why do you even bother to go? Nobody cares whether you show up or not. And I just busted up laughing, and my wife says, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "I think we have a devil in the back seat." And he just said what I just told you, and it just cracked me up. So why does that matter? Did you have something to say, or do you want me to keep going?
Why does it matter? It matters because if the thoughts you're having are making you feel sad, depressed, angry, mad. Yeah, angry and mad, that's the same thing. Anyway, if the thoughts are giving you negative feelings, it's time to examine your thoughts. Think about your thoughts. What's going on?
So
yeah.
We want to take this a little closer to this relationship. Does it really matter in this relationship? Even more. So here's a more recent example. What's been going on in my head. So we have different bodies, obviously, but our eating type is a little bit different. She's figured out for where she's at in her life right now, she'll eat 3 small meals a day with snacks in between. And that drives me crazy. It just seems like more time spent eating, and there's more stuff to get done. And I found the way I like to eat, I like to get really full when I eat. I normally eat at least twice as much, maybe 2.5 times as much as what she does in one meal. And if I did that 3 times a day plus snacks, I wouldn't look like this.
Be a
So-
little chubbier.
So what works for me, especially this time of year when I'm not burning as much calories by all the work I do outside, I like 2 meals a day. And I like to get really full in those 2 meals a day, and then I make it through. And so we've kind of had this understanding. Every once in a while, she'll say, "Are you having lunch with me?" Or "What do you want for lunch?" And I just think, that is annoying, because you already know. You know what I want for lunch, nothing. But if you're going to ask me, then I'm going to feel tempted to eat because I want to spend time with you. And so I have this thought, and I realize that I don't need to give much credibility to that thought, because I know that she's just being concerned and wants to be thoughtful, right?
Yeah, I want
What's
him,
going on in your
I
head?
don't want him to starve, right? I don't want him to starve, and I'm really hungry by then because I eat smaller meals, so I'm ready to eat, and I don't want him to starve. And I also don't want to feel rude and eat in front of him. And there was a joke the other night about, because he's trying to eat less desserts and candies, and so it's kind of like, what was it? Not only should I not be, something about being rude, so I will go off and I'll be sneaky. I'll be sneaky.
I said, don't ask me if I want any. Don't even let me see when you're eating it.
So not only will I be sensitive, I will be sneaky, and I will go off to eat my chocolates and not ask him if he wants any, or not ask him if he wants lunch. So I go eat lunch by myself.
So back to the story then. So because I have been practicing this awareness of what I'm thinking, I realize that when that little bit of annoyance comes up, that I'm thinking, why don't you support my values? We've already talked about this. You're enticing me to do something that I don't want to do. And then I would start to feel annoyed. But when I start to feel that, I can check in and say, okay, wait, that's not what I want, and that's not what that means. What was really funny, though, was when she stopped asking me, what went through my head was, you don't even care about me. You're not even going to ask if I'm hungry or not. And there's the exact opposite again going through my head. So I know I'm not thinking that we've got negative sources, we've got positive sources that are trying to influence our thoughts and feelings. And so I laughed it off. And so that's really what we're trying to point out with these stories, and just sharing what's going on in my head. Is it is possible that we can be aware, and in fact, it's just not possible. We really need to. If we want to have healthy relationships, we need to learn that skill. We need to check in and just be aware. Think about what we're thinking. If what you're thinking is not creating good connection and good feelings towards family members, especially your spouse, then you need to analyze that and say, why is that making me feel this way?
Yeah, so sometimes the interactions and events that happen between, people with relationships, sometimes they're more serious than whether you're going to show up to your brother's, or I guess be your nephew's wedding reception, or whether you're going to be invited to lunch with your spouse when you don't want to be invited to eat lunch. So, yeah, sometimes things are a little more serious than that, but this principle applies no matter the circumstance, that if you're having thoughts that are causing negative feelings, whether that's sad or anxiety or stress or anger, feeling any negative feeling, right? Then it's time to analyze your thoughts, what's going on up there, and really question and think about your thinking when you're having these negative feelings, and see, is this really true? And try to dig a little bit deeper. And so for us, a lot of times, like you said, we can just laugh it off, because especially if you are able to communicate and say, well, I just want to make sure that you're fed and you're not starving, and I don't want to be rude and eat in front of you. But yet he wants me to honor his value of skipping that meal in the middle of the day. So if you're not able to have maybe that open, honest conversation with the other person, then dig deep and analyze your thoughts. You know, is this really true? And is this how I want to feel about them? Like, does he want to be annoyed by me? No, he loves me. He doesn't want to feel annoyed by me, even though sometimes I know he does. But still, analyze your thoughts, and then, you know, a simple little trick is if they're negative, because usually negative feelings come from negative thoughts or vice versa, and we're not going to go into that. That's a little deep. But if it's negative, you have the power to switch your thought. Because when we can switch the thought from negative to positive, there's a higher chance that our feelings are going to switch from the negative to the positive. And then we're not going to say or do something that is mean or rude or offensive or unkind and will hurt the other person. So thoughts are super, super important. And for those of you like me who sometimes want to speak before we think it through, bite your tongue, hold your breath, take a step back, learn a little patience, and really challenge your thoughts. So there's my tip.
So thoughts matter. What you're thinking matters.
Yeah.
So we've been actually practicing this for over 5 years now. I think we're getting a little better. But if you're new to trying to be aware of, think about your thinking and realize that if you're having negative feelings towards people that you care about, it's a matter of checking in with what you're thinking. If you're new to that concept and not sure if it's, I know, it can be complicated and confusing, and that's what we're here for. We've been working for the past over 5 years now, coaching and mentoring with people on these concepts. So if you want some clarity on that, if you've got some issues that are specific and saying, this is what I'm facing and it just seems like the truth is killing me and the way I'm thinking is exactly right, and we can help. I think we would have a good time helping you dig in to some of that and help you analyze and sort things out and get some clarity so that you can laugh off the stuff that isn't true and use that philosophy, this principle of being aware of your thinking so that you can flush the bad stuff, laugh it off, and connect with those good positive thoughts that continue to nurture the good positive emotions that we want to have in our relationships.
And then everybody's happier.
Everybody's happier.
Yeah.
So we invite you all to be happier. Think about your thinking.
That's right. Okay. Have a great night. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.